Good
Thank
morning,
you
Carrie.
for joining me today. This is Evey. Evey is one of my clients, and she's worked with hypnotherapy and coaching with me. And she's very generously offered some of her time and space to come and talk today about her experience with hypnotherapy and also talk about some of her amazing work. Evey is a writer and director of theater, film, and TV, and she's done some really amazing things, which we'll talk about a little bit later. With Evey's work, theater, film, and TV, directing films, she has to travel. She has to get to workshops. She has to get to film locations. There's a lot of travel involved with what you do. Is that right, Evey?
Yes, yeah, and with the theatre too.
Yeah,
My
obviously.
sense to the
Lots
theatre
of
spaces, rehearsal spaces that
mhm,
can be all across the city.
lots of movement. And basically, Evey was struggling with very high anxiety and panic attacks when traveling, particularly on the underground, traveling alone, having a lot of issues with this. So this is what we worked on, and we're going to hear from Evey in her own words about her experience with hypnotherapy to help to clear this from her space. So basically, in your own words, Evey, what was the issue you needed to resolve when you came to see me?
So the issue I needed to resolve was reining in. I would enter being in transit and I would catastrophize the situation, and that really acute worry would lead to really severe panic.
Basically, it's full-blown panic attacks you were having.
Yeah.
And just tell me a little bit about how this was affecting your confidence, how this was affecting you when you were doing these projects.
It was zapping me of much needed energy that I needed
Mm,
to be putting into my work and ensuring that the quality of my work was to a high standard for myself and the project, of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Because, obviously with panic attacks comes exhaustion,
Mm-hmm.
the aftermath, the anxiety aftermath is real.
Mm, mm.
And it was common that I would arrive to a space exhausted from the experience of a panic attack.
What surprised you most about our work together?
I think, Harry, what surprised me most about our work together was how quickly I felt a shift.
Mm,
I have to say, I wasn't expecting to feel such a positive shift
mm,
as quickly as a week into the process of hypnotherapy. And that was obviously a really, really welcome surprise.
We had our session in November, so it's been some time now. And obviously, you're still rolling with it, getting on with your work, and still feeling the benefits of this. And what would you say, what is the greatest benefit that you gained from this work together with hypnotherapy?
Self-belief,
Mm,
just believing that I am really capable of everything that I am doing
mm,
and that I can hold my own
wow.
and I can really look after myself in transit, and that I'm actually not just a mess when
Mm,
I leave the house. And that has been the greatest benefit, is just stepping out the door
mm-hmm.
and feeling a much stronger sense of inner trust
Oh, that's
that
wonderful.
wasn't in place beforehand. Truly, it wasn't in
Yeah,
place beforehand.
yeah. Well,
So
I
yeah.
don't have words for how that makes me feel hearing those words, but it's pretty good. Let's put it that way. That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that you're there for your work, basically.
Mm.
What would you say to somebody who is struggling with issues like you've experienced, or they're struggling with issues of, let's say, doubt, fear? They feel they're not really getting on with the things they want to get on with, things are getting in their way. They want to apply their energy to more creative space, more productive space. What would you say to someone who is thinking about hypnotherapy but was on the fence?
I would say you will lose nothing,
Hmm.
but potentially gain so much from giving it a go. You may have a preconceived idea of what hypnotherapy looks like and feels
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
But actually, the reality is it's not like that. It's much more about putting into sharp focus what it is that needs work for
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
to
Good.
quell the trauma and the
Mm.
fears that you are experiencing.
Oh, that's
Um,
excellent. Well, thank you for sharing your experience. I really appreciate that. And we want to hear more about your projects now. Evie, as I said, works with writing, directing, theatre, film, and TV, and she's done some remarkable work. She had a sellout run on a play called Boomerang. When was this? When was this play,
So
Boomerang?
Boomerang began in 2017 and ran
Mm-hmm.
until 2019. So
Yeah,
enjoyed
sounds
a
wonderful.
pretty good run.
It
Yeah.
sounds great. And I didn't know you at the time, so I feel somewhat miffed that I have not seen this play, but I'm looking forward to your future.
Oh, I'm
I,
looking forward to having you there on the guest
I
list.
will be there, believe me. I want to hear about your current project, a short film, I believe, called Dress to the Nines.
Yeah,
And
that's
from
the
what you
one.
said, it's about the power of a child's imagination, dealing
Yes.
with things in life, and how adults respond to that. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, so it's a coming of age short film in the
Mm,
genre of drama, and it is about a father and son navigating grief
mm,
in many different ways.
mm,
So the young boy Luke is dressing up to the nines as a way of feeling connected to his mum.
mm.
His father is essentially adapting to
Yeah.
this being the way his son is choosing to respond to grief. So really, it's a film that hopes to just shed a really non-judgmental light on the ways in which we, explore and process grief.
That sounds wonderful. And I'm looking forward to the release of this when it's all done and dusted. What are some of your other projects you're working on right now?
Yeah, so alongside Dress to the Nines, I'm also writing a TV show called
Mm,
Craving, and it's a darkly comic thriller about a lonely housekeeper called Mira who
mm-hmm,
has an unquenchable thirst
mm-hmm,
to embroil herself in people's lives in
mm,
exchange for companionship. So it's a TV show that is exploring the less studied,
mm-hmm.
known forms of addiction.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Well, you're doing some great work, and I'm very happy that I was able to help you gain back your full energy to apply to this because you're doing some
Right.
great stuff.
Really, Carrie, I do want to take a moment to say that the process of hypnotherapy and the structure of hypnotherapy, for this process and structure truly offers one to shift themselves from a state of severe panic to a state of self-belief. It has actually been transformative. I can't, sometimes I pinch myself on the train or the underground, which I've gotten 4 times since hypnotherapy.
Mm-hmm,
Before hypnotherapy, I
mm.
hadn't got the underground for 3 years.
You'll go from strength to strength. And for anybody out there who's watched this, if you feel you're struggling with something that's basically just getting in your way, holding you back from getting out and doing your work in the world, and you want to progress things, feel free to get in touch and we can have a chat about how I can help you. My contact details I'll put directly below. And if you want to get in touch with Evie about her work and her directing, her film, and find out more about her amazing stuff, and I will put the link down below in the comments. So please feel free to contact Evie if you want to find out more about her plays, her projects, and her fantastic work. Thank you for joining
Thank
me,
you.
Evie. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you.